My name is Stephanie Cuevas, and I'm the Senior Government Affairs Representative for the Water Replenishment District. As a Senior Government Affairs Representative at WRD, my job duties are always changing and evolving. But on the day-to-day, my biggest responsibility is to track legislation and bill development at the state level and at the federal level. My goal is to be an advocate for our projects and programs and to ask our elected officials to consider investing in water infrastructure and to help WRD build a sustainable water future. So that means investing tax dollars in projects and programs that will help WRD to really build our local groundwater supply. But my goal, and again, my role as a Senior Government Affairs Rep, is to make sure I'm communicating our mission and our projects and programs at WRD to our elected officials and making sure we get those investments in our water infrastructure so that folks, in our cities, in WRD service area, have access to high quality and affordable water. My job requires a 4-year college degree. You can start out at the community college and transfer, or you can go straight into a 4-year university. Either way works. My path to WRD wasn't very linear. It started off in Whittier. I graduated from Whittier High School and then went to Yale University to get my bachelor's degree. I majored in American Studies, which is a mix between policy and history and government. And after that, I went on to work in the U.S. House of Representatives and really tried to focus on learning about how grant dollars move through our government system. You have legislators that are voting on these big programs and big projects, but how does that money get down to the everyday person? So that's what I try to specialize in. It's called the appropriations process. And I had a really amazing time learning about it. And then I wanted to really focus on making sure that folks back at home in Whittier, where I grew up, are really getting the benefit of our federal dollars. And that's what I specialize in here. My job is constantly changing. That is the favorite part of my job, of working in government affairs. At the state level and at the federal level, we have new bills that are being signed into law almost every day. And from a month-to-month standpoint, my days will look completely different. So to help stay on top of what's happening and the relevant news that's changing, I make sure to read the news every morning, watch the news every evening, and really stay plugged into our different water associations so that we know what's coming up and what we need to prepare for. And the goal is to stay on top of what grant programs may become available down the line so that WRD can be prepared to apply early and be competitive in those applications. My typical day can vary drastically from one day to the next. On some days, I may be watching committee hearings and listening to elected officials debate policies about the environment and water regulation. And then the next day, I could be sitting down in meetings with elected officials themselves. So that can be a member of Congress, a state representative from the Assembly or Senate, or even city council members, or our own board members at WRD to talk about government policies and programs that can really impact our projects here at WRD. You may not know it, but everything in our everyday lives more or less is regulated. From the air we breathe, to the water we drink, and the food we eat, it's regulated at some level. And so for government affairs, there's always going to need to be a person there who can take what's happening in the industry and boil it down to a really quick 2-minute elevator's pitch to elected officials so they understand what industry needs are and the best path forward. So yes, in government affairs and in policy, you can work in water, you can work in a lot of different industries, but personally I think water is the best place to be because water is life and it's an essential element that all humans need to survive. And so to be a part of WRD and a team that's focused on building a sustainable future, a sustainable water future, is an incredible experience, and I'm really grateful to be here. With a career in government affairs, you can live anywhere in the United States. no matter where you go, at the local level, there will always be a city hall or a county government that's going to need voices who can advocate for the interests of people in their community. And at the state level, every state has a state legislature, and in the US, in Washington, D.C., we have the US Capitol. So yes, you can do your job anywhere in the United States, and if you wanted to go abroad, you can even be a US ambassador in another country. So the opportunities are limitless, and you just have to go and figure out what you want to do and pursue it, and just keep pushing for that life that you want to have, because your voice really matters no matter where you are, and you can make a career out of it too. I think that if there's a student who's interested in pursuing a career in policy, especially environmental policy or water policy, it's very helpful to have an interest in public speaking, to have an interest in research and writing, and to really be an outgoing person who wants to talk to other people and to be curious. Every day I come into the office and I'm asking my colleagues about their projects and programs and learning about how innovations in water can help prepare us for the future. So I would recommend being involved in student government, practicing public speaking, and really engaging in reading and writing. For students who are interested in environmental policy, I highly suggest taking classes in government, learning how the government processes work at the state and federal level, and even at the local level. All of it's very important. Classes in political science definitely make a big difference. And make sure to take the science classes. And especially in environmental policy, I'm sometimes exposed to processes that I did not know about until I came on the job, like reverse osmosis and ultrafiltration. These are very technical aspects of what WRD does. But at the federal and state level, when we're talking about legislation, I'm taking all that information and sharing it with staff in those elected official offices and with elected officials. So I have to take complex ideas and make it really simple for others to understand, because they have very busy days, and so I have to have the elevator pitch ready, even if it's a very complex issue.